Thank you for that speech, Vivian, and I think that's especially meaningful, especially in the new setting that we're in right now. And I think that resonates with a lot of us, because most of us here are members of some sort of service club. But let's be honest, how many of us, seniors, I'm looking at you, are still going? How many of us are still going to our service clubs? Yeah, not that many. That's right, we've all caught senioritis. No amount of social distancing, masks, hand sanitizers, self-motivation, or teacher pep talks can prevent anyone, apart from maybe the determined few, a couple guys serving NS, Liam, Jenny, Nathan, and whoever other juniors are sitting here, from pushing through. Let's hear from Vivian today about the disease that's affecting us all, and maybe she can offer us a cure.
Senioritis, every teacher's least favorite diagnosis. A mysterious condition that seems to only affect one age group, peaks in the spring, and tragically has no known cure. It has been described as laziness, entitlement, lack of grit, or my personal favorite, a mindset issue. But despite stern emails from the friendly neighborhood deans and almost helpful class assemblies, senioritis continues to spread through the red sweatshirts. But why is it so incurable? In medical terms, senioritis is an acute behavioral disorder. Sudden onset, poor prognosis, and lots of sighs. Some strains present as chronic absenteeism, others as selective amnesia towards deadlines. Most teachers and students cite burnout as the underlying cause, emotional exhaustion, or loss of purpose after college apps. Yet burnout didn't magically appear senior year. We were tired junior year, exhausted even sophomore year. So, what suddenly catalyzed that burnout into permission? The same way toxic grade culture survives through normalization and repetition, senioritis' disengagement is socially acceptable between peers, expected by teachers. Stressing about a linear algebra quiz next block, I don't hear encouragement anymore. I hear "Siebes," or "Why do you still care?" Planning events for clubs and watching fellow officers' attendance plunge, I'm reminded that it's easier to give up because it doesn't even matter anymore. Now, this isn't a peer pressure PSA. I'll admit, it doesn't take much to convince me or the rest of the senior class that it's time to let go. But that's exactly the problem. Senioritis thrives because of widespread permission granted between already susceptible peers. Even with teachers, college counselors, and club sponsors, senioritis is normalized. Coming back this semester, I was welcomed with multiple, almost redundant, but well-intentioned warnings, all before I even intended to slack off. But soon enough, those talks became my self-fulfilling diagnosis, their premature acknowledgement of my senioritis, making it all too easy to fall in. Then between students, there's that collective permissions buildup, the precedent modeled by each senior class. Untouchable by any PAC interventions or threats of supervised study, seniors transform what should be a very black and white, don't slack off issue into a neon green light. Meetings are skipped, plans are forgotten, only resurfacing at the last possible moment, after the work has already been held together by someone else, underclassmen. For every international fair briefing an afflicted senior skips, they scramble to fill gaps. For every AP Gov project abandoned, they are expected to pick up the slack, normalizing the push down of work. Yet this accepting culture of overwork and earn break reinforces senioritis as each year anticipates the moment they get to let go. We plan years in advance. Seniors slack because they were once underclassmen picking up the slack. Juniors and sophomores take the burden because they know it ends. So how can we tackle this tricky virus? Firstly, we need to recognize that the instant letting go is often framed only as a student failure, lacking responsibility, or just never having the drive to push through. In reality, it's a collapse of motivation from a system that trains students to work only under surveillance and external reward, in this case, college. So rather than focusing on the mysterious teenage hormonal mind, we need to rethink the illusion that overwork for a goal is the price of eventual freedom. Senioritis is just that culture catching up with itself. To mitigate its effect, no amount of yet another mandatory assembly or 30-minute advisory share-out will work. These only reinforce the barrier between seniors and administrators. From the admin perspective, lackluster attendance and engagement give the impression of apathy. From the student side, constant oversight feels performative and judgmental. So without framing senioritis as a disease needing a cure, alienating students, we should give grace for relaxation once in a while, approved through Veracross, of course. But that also doesn't mean skipping can become the senior default. Instead of being like a disease, senioritis is a symptom of a toxic culture, one modeling overwork and reinforced by both students and teachers expecting disengagement as inevitable. And once everyone normalizes it, it becomes ingrained in our culture. Thank you.